So Ben wasn't too happy with how I took over his show last week. He says he wants to do all the final editing now, and he said I had to film an apology for him, so... I'm sorry, Ben. You know, I'm sorry
for being so foolish
and
inconsiderate with you, our audience.
And
in retribution, I'll show you my silly dance.
Well, thanks, Dave. I really appreciate that heartfelt apology. It was truly appreciated. So welcome to the 4th episode of Mechanical Mashup, and today what we're going to cover is barn door lighting for your studio. And what Dave's going to do today is show you how to find square when you don't have a square. Okay, now on the advice of our infinitely wise cameraman, we need barn doors. Is that mic working? Anyways, we're gonna build some barn doors for some lights and stuff. Now to buy a barn door set, it's quite expensive, or if you're too Scottish like me, you're gonna just basically put them together yourself. Got some standard hinges. These ones have got like a little friction piece in them. I just cut out a piece of sheet metal, and then we got some pop rivets and of course black spray paint. Now we've got the barn doors that we can adjust any way we want to. So what we have here is the cheap $50 halogen lights. Basically what you got to do with this guy is we got to unscrew it. So we've got the frame itself. Generally these frames, you don't want to break the glass. You'll find that you can just bend them a little bit and the tabs will let the glass drop out. We're going to cut out the sheet metal, rivet it, and we should be ready to go. What we have here is a hinge, and you'll notice these hits here. I took a center punch and I bashed the hell out of it, and you'll notice the hinge is nice and sticky, and that's exactly what you want because the original hinge just flops. So this is 7 inches, so half a 7 is 3.5, so 2 3/4. To faster drill speed. Drill X self-tapping screws. They're one of my favorite things for, especially for working sheet metal and small stuff. But okay, so we got the screws in. This should work out fairly well. Now we got to work on the actual barn doors. Metal's going to get a little twisted up, but that's okay. That's what hammers are for. You can hammer it back into place. Just do it nice and gentle. This stuff, when you finish cutting it, is sharp, sharp, and sharp. Nip off the corners. Just do some quick flattening of the bent area. Okay, so there we go. Probably about 45 minutes, and you have very quick and dirty barn doors for your light and well, Vanna, huh? Huh? Oh, come on now. There we go.
Now, have you ever been caught in the middle of a project without one of these little bad boys? It can be a huge pain in the butt. So, let Dave and Jimmy show you how to find a square without a square.
Hey, look, it's Jimmy. Why so sad, Jimmy? Oh, you don't know how to tell if something is square? Well, heck, Jimmy, I'd be sad too. Would you like to learn? For our first trick, all you need is a tape measure. There we go. The 3, 4, 5 trick. First thing we need is a triangle. A triangle. Thanks, Jimmy. Special thanks goes out to Pythagoras for all the heavy lifting here. He came up with the equation a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now it just so happens that 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. So if we measure 3 units across, then 4 units up, then our hypotenuse on the triangle should equal 5 units. That would mean it's square. Now, Jimmy, you're wondering, what happens if it's not equal to 5? Well, if it's more, it's obtuse. If it's less, it's acute. This next trick is called the equal diagonals trick. You take a square and very simply just measure across the 2 diagonals. If they're equal, it's square. This trick is to lay out a perpendicular line. All you need is a piece of string and a pencil or something else to mark. We're assuming you have a straight line already, like a wall or chalk line. We want a perpendicular line off of it. Tie a knot in your string and mark one point and another point. And take your string, and the full length now is used. We'll mark a arc. Careful now, Jimmy. Move the string to the other point, and again, make an arc. Now the intersection of these arcs draws a perpendicular line. In our last trick, Jimmy's going to show us how to find a parallel line. All you need for this is a tape measure and your pencil, and we assume that you already have one line to go off of. You're going to take a measurement as far as you want the offset to be, and you will scribe an arc from a point off the line. Go to another point with the same distance, scribe another arc. Now if you laid a line along those arcs or on tangent, you would have a perfectly parallel line.
One thing I'd like to make note of, wait, can we, better, okay. One thing I'd like to make note of is in trick number 1 with the 3, 4, 5 rule, we were saying units. Now, I was purposely being vague because this can scale up to anything. It can be 3 centimeters, 4 yards, 5 miles, doesn't matter. As long as they're the same units all the way across, this will work. You can even do multiples of that. You could do 6, 8, and 10. That will work as well. Now these tricks aren't meant to replace tools like this, this, or this, but they are a handy thing to know just in case you're stuck without one of these things, and they can be quite accurate over large distances. You're welcome.
Well, there you have it. That is how to, well, find square without a square, and also how to make a barn door lighting.